SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Hello, viewers. Hello, people, good people of God around the world. You are welcome to SSM Wednesday Global Africa Updates. My name is Godwin Iweju. I'm here with my colleagues, my coordinators from different angles around the world. In far away Accra, Ghana, is our man, Olayinka Raji. Raji, good morning. Is it morning in
Mark.
Ghana?
Good morning, viewers across the globe. Good morning. Welcome to our Wednesday program. I'm really glad to be here talking to you from Accra, Ghana.
Talking from Accra. It's good to have you there, Raji, because you'll be giving us a lot of feedbacks and updates from that side. Is it morning or midday or night in Accra?
It's 10 a.m. now in Accra.
10 a.m. now in Accra.
Yes,
wow, thank you. You're well done, Raji. Well done. So, but Raji, we have a beautiful diva with us as usual. We have our own diva, BD Nana. BD, good afternoon. Is it morning, afternoon, whatever it is? Good day to you. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Same here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Massive Raji, good morning. Our viewers all around the world, good morning. Thanks for joining us again today. Let's do it like always.
Let's do it like always, BD. BD, you're looking good. You're in a car. Looks like you have something very important, somewhere very important to go after the broadcast. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for taking out your time to do it. Oh, wonderful. Viewers, you see what the sacrifices our coordinators are doing, all to keep you abreast with news and updates around the world. Gentlemen, we can't start if we don't talk about last night. I don't know how many of you were awake last night. I was awake. I was watching all of it. The debate. We know today's not Friday, but U.S. government politicians had their debate prelude to the election coming soon. Raji, I saw. Let me just say a rundown of what was happening. It was Donald Trump and Kamala Harris battling fiercely over inflation, abortion, immigration, foreign policy, and a lot of other issues. And what we saw was, Harris appeared to have a tight hand to overthrow Trump in that game. She seemed to have succeeded in most of the questions she put up. But before we go, let's bring in George. George is here with us. George Chuku from Toronto, Canada. You're welcome.
George, good morning, Matt Godwin. Good morning, Olayinka Raji.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Am I clear?
George.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
So, yes, we can hear you, George.
Yeah, good morning, viewers from around the world. Welcome to our Wednesday morning show.
Welcome. Thank you. So, yes, George, we're talking about yesterday's showdown, the debate showdown. And yes, Harry seems to appear to have some edge. She answered some very good questions. And she said a lot of things against Trump, attacking her racial identity. Gentlemen, let me start with BD. BD, how do you see that whole thing last night? BD, I think your frame is frozen. Okay, Raji, Let's hear from you, Raji. How did you see the event last night?
Actually, I didn't watch the event. I just saw snippets of comments on it. And actually, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference in the election. I don't think so, because not all people will watch it. Many people will not even see it. I don't think it's going to make anything. But I was surprised that Trump seemed to be losing his composure. And I think something has to be happening. Maybe he's been under so much pressure for the last few months that he's beginning to crack. But I hope he can hold himself up together until the elections. He needs to put some calmness in himself. Yes.
Some calmness in himself. After that debate, George, we saw some endorsements, some heavyweight endorsing Harris. Taylor Swift, a big artist, did that, and some other people too. But we had some of what they were arguing about. George, how do you assess? What's your assessment of last night's debate?
To me, it was a total showdown. It was a complete and absolute showdown. The lady showed herself very presidential, very much in control. If you watch the debate, you saw the confidence she assumed when she was talking to Trump. Trump never one time looked at her. Trump was never looked at her. But this woman was, talking to Trump and talking to the public. Talking to Trump, whenever she's addressing Trump, she will be looking Trump straight in the eye, and Trump will never look at her. So that's what you call, she was able to hold herself. Now, when Raji was saying that he doesn't think it's going to make much of a difference. Yes, it's going to make much of a difference. He made a lot of difference yesterday. Number one, because a lot of people were waiting to see her performance and her to be able to answer certain questions, in detail, to understand her, to understand her heart, to understand who she is. Yesterday, she was able to hold herself with a lot of confidence and then with a lot of details about her plans. She talked about the people. She talked about her, her what she's going to do. Trump basically talked about himself. And if you ask me, to be very frank with you, those that are on the borderline, those that were thinking, I don't know if I should go left or go right. After watching that debate, it was, a lot of people made up their mind yesterday during the interview. Some people still stand with Trump. Some people still stand with Trump. There are so many undecided voters who actually were able to make, yes, this is the person that I'm going to support. You see, there are so many detailed questions like, he refused to talk about the abortion, what he's going to do. He refused to talk about, to answer the question regarding whether he wants Ukraine to win, all those things. And the woman brought brought the whole situation back on his lap, that he wasn't able to handle it. It was too hot for him.
Thank you, George. It's not Friday yet, but we just have to do this because it's something that just occurred. But George, what I heard was Trump also blamed Harris for President Joe Biden's policies. He talked about U.S. withdrawing from Afghanistan, immigration, and how he plans to improve the economy. My question
those were lies. Those were lies. If you listen to the pundits yesterday, all across the board, all they were saying, and if you remember, ABC did a fantastic job because they held him to the truth.
Yeah.
Because he tells a lot of half truth and lies, and they held him to the truth. Whenever he's misquoting and misaligning situations, they will bring him back to order. So people that were paying attention saw it very clearly.
Okay, well, let's not go too deep on this. Friday will come on. George, be here because That's not. Some people are not saying what you're saying, George. There are all these other. The other side is saying different. Let's go on to your voice is okay. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes. Now
if you watch that debate very well, if you watch that debate and you're telling yourself the truth, you will be surprised thinking that, oh, was this woman actually, does she know that she's going to become the candidate of this election? Because she sounded so confident. Do you know she threw Trump out of balance? At a time, Trump
several times.
Now,
several times.
So Harry has a plan, what she wants to do and how she wants to do it. From what happened yesterday, what you will understand is that Trump just wants to be president. I hope it's not what happened to Nigeria that's going to happen to America. Trump just wants to get to that office. But Harry has her plans. She listed out. Do you understand? She kept asking Trump a lot of questions that Trump could not answer. All Trump was pointing at is immigration. Harry asking questions on foreign policies, abortion. Trump could not give a tangible answers to all those things she was asking Trump. I'm telling you, see, that woman, I was telling you before, I want a woman, but I think I wanted Trump. But yesterday night, I think I want Harry to win that election. I must be frank with you because she is good. She knows what she's going in for. She knows what she wants to go in for.
Thank you, Billy. But let's see if this will turn out to the favor of the Democrats on the day of election. The ballot day matters. These are all, well, it's okay to have all of these jives prior to the voting day, but the voting day matters because we've seen this happen in the past when Hillary did a very good job with the debate, but Trump won the election. And the other parts too. Remember also Hillary with Obama and all the time passed, and we'll see good show play out on networks. But the ballot day says something different.
But
all right, gentlemen.
That is the difference. That is the difference in this particular case here, because one thing that they have instituted is the same thing that brought Obama to that presidency. And that is something that they brought back again. Base, door to door, talking to people. So they have actually brought squads of people doing that. So it's a catch-22 type of, you're just in the middle because it's so close that the nation is divided. And if you see the confidence she assumed, like when he told you that you were 80,000 people fired you from this White House and it would be a disaster for you. It was crazy because when I was looking, I'm like, woo, because something that Biden wasn't able to do, this woman brought it down to his feet and then stayed right there, calling him all kinds of names, as a matter of fact.
Thank you. We're excited. Friday, let's come talk about it. So viewers, that's it. The debate showdown, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, battled fiercely last night. Gentlemen, let's move on to issues also bordering on around our people, our country. This morning, some APC reasonable stakeholders are saying something, and it just cut us up early morning. They say, Tinubu's policy is increasing hardship on the people. APC is admitting that Tinubu's policies has increased economic hardship in Nigeria. Let's start with Raji. Raji, you ran away because you also agree that things are not playing well. Tell us, is it true that Tinubu's policies add in hardship?
See, there's a difference between run away and escape. I escaped. I didn't run away. I escaped. and I intend to stay away until the price of fuel comes down to 500 naira per liter. But talking seriously, I have been insulted, I've been abused, I've been defamed by people who knew that I voted Tinubu. And I keep on saying to them, okay, look, I had to vote one person, and I thought Tinubu could do better. Now, from day one, if I didn't have real strength in myself, I would have been having a bias remorse from day one. Because from that unguarded statement about subsidy is gone, he said it so flippantly and so unfeelingly. And from that very day, the state of the country has never been the same. Then he burdened it with the foreign exchange regime. The highest, the black market then was 750. And if you are going to merge the black market and the bank rate together, I don't think that it should go beyond 800. But now we are dealing with an exchange rate of 1,650 to $1. I'm in Ghana now. The Ghanaian cedi and the Nigerian cedi are almost at par. And there's no reason why that with that singular increase in the price of fuel, the state of affairs of every Nigerian was affected. Every Nigerian, because it brought about hyperinflation, and everything is going downstream all since then. His policies are not thought through. He came in firstly as if he was a very reasonable person coming into government. But the moment he got the presidency, and even immediately 2 minutes, a minute before the subject must go regime, everything was looking normal until I think at the very end he flipped. And when the person
was looking normal, at the very end he flipped. George.
He flipped.
Yeah, George.
From that moment,
his party members
in the whole country.
Yeah. Thank you, Raji. His party members are the ones saying this morning that yes, his policies have not helped us, and it's going to 2 years. We've not seen anything progress. George, let's hear you.
Well, the only thing I can say, when the righteous are in authority, the people will rejoice. And when the wicked take rule, people mourn. All you have seen since Tinubu took over is people are mourning. And people are mourning, not only mourning because of the economic condition of Nigeria, people are mourning because they have lost their loved ones. People are mourning because they are in a despondent state. People are mourning because there is no hope in that country anymore. People are mourning because of the continuous lies that has been told and continue to be told. People are mourning because if you surround yourself with wise men, you will be wise. But when you surround yourself with foolish people, that's exactly what you're going to be getting. You see the government, you see what, all kinds of decisions being made arbitrarily without any, thinking it through, knowing, studying the situation to understand what is really going on. It's all over. I'm telling you, no, the country is in a chaos, complete and absolute chaos. And you can't deny it anymore. Even those that are supporting him, unless you have lost your, your rankers, you wouldn't even be able to support, to openly support, because what are you going to support? Look around you from left to right, back, forward, or top and bottom. Everything is messed up economically. The welfare of the people are crying out. And then the government themselves, they're living like mini gods, mini deities, splurging and doing whatever. You talk from the two sides of your mouth. You want the nation the common people to sacrifice. The change that is needed in Nigeria ought to start with the Tinubu himself.
Yes.
He's not wise. If you ask me, he's not wise. He's like an emperor of Nigeria right now. Because look at everything that is happening around.
Yes. Emperor BD, you said a lot about this in time past. What's your take on his party members admitting that his policies have not helped us at all. Tell us.
The party member, they are just being hypocritical. This thing, they came out to say this thing just to douse the tension. Saying that Tinubu policies is causing hardship in Nigeria because they know that the tempo is high. They just came out to say that to douse the tension. They don't mean it. You remember when Tinubu has been office, the first statement he said, let the poor breathe. And it trended. And each time, let me tell you, they are telling this morning, this APC member were on television. When, NNPC said that they can revise the price of petrol. This APC member, we are the one who are educating Nigerians, the landing costs, the costs and everything, that is not possible that they can revise the petrol price. So coming out to say this, we've had it a lot. Now, people will come online and tell us, oh, I know you people are suffering. I know it's not easy. I know what you people are going through. After saying it, the next day, he will increase the tariff, the prices, and everything. Do you understand? So, them coming out to tell Nigerians that, no, it's fallacy. They are just being hypocritical. They know what to do. It is their party member. They are all in it. So, coming to tell Nigerians, this is people that don't understand the politics they are playing, that will listen to them and believe them. This is all fallacy. They are trying to make Nigerians feel that, oh, wait. They are trying to make Nigerians feel like, oh, we understand.
It's a good thing. Yes, it's a good thing that they are saying it. Then we can also take it from there, and everybody can shout and say, "Look, we are suffering." You know, if nobody is saying it at all.
No, we have been saying it. We don't need saying it. We need show it. Show it. Let it in your action. We don't need to say it. Nigeria is a country of talking. We talk a lot. We don't do anything. So them saying it does not make any change. They should go by their action. NNPC said they can revise the fuel. And Tinubu and this APC member said it's not possible. So why are they coming to tell us that they know? They don't know anything. They're just trying to douse the tension, make us feel good that they know what we are going through. They don't know. If they want to take care, they know what to do. Reduce the fuel price, reduce electricity. See, 30,000 naira electricity in Nigeria will not last you 1 week. They know what to do. So they should not come and somebody like me, I cannot take that. They can tell it to people that want to listen to them, not me. It's fallacy. It's all being hypocritical.
So just a comment. Just a comment, sir.
Go ahead.
I want to add to what Sir George said about when the righteous are in government, and then what BD said about if you surround yourself with wise people. Tinubu is a one-man show, and regardless of all the people around him, he does what he wants to do. So we are in a fix, and he's an emperor. He has an emperor mentality, and has had that for too long. For more than 20 years, he has been held up as an emperor, as the only one man, as the one man who only has all the answers in Lagos. And he has brought that same mentality onto the federal government. All that he did in Lagos was to raise taxes of all manners, and all the money that was raised on taxes, you don't see what happened to them in Lagos. Lagos should be free of every debt, just as it was during Jakonde's time, when Jakonde's government was giving loans to other states in the Federation.
Thank you.
Saraji is very, very correct. But let me tell you, yes, that is who Tinubu is. I remember during 2015, I campaigned against APC. People say, what do I said I don't have anything against APC, but having lived in Lagos for years, I understand that Lagos is all about taxes and levies. That if they go to federal, Nigerians will suffer. I said it, and it's happening today. See, Tinubu is old. Let me tell you, give me time, let me tell you. 2 months ago, Aline Dume came out to say Tinubu has been restricted in Villa, that a lot of people cannot reach him. They made him apologize, demoted him. Anjari Ngalale resigned for the same reason. See, he said Tinubu is a one man. It's not. Tinubu has taught people who are carrying out his actions. It's no longer about Tinubu. I can call you name of 3 people who are giving these policies in Nigeria. I don't want to mention it here now, because if I'll call the name of 3 people who are in that villa with Tinubu, who are dishing us these laws, because they know it's the kind of thing Tinubu will do. So it's not about only Tinubu, it's about with people he work with now, even close family member and people he trusts. There are just only 3 people who are doing it. So it's not, that's why I say APC are just being fallacy, they are just being hypocritical. It is not only Tinubu. The APC know. If they want Tinubu to change or reduce fuel power price or electricity tariff, they know what to do, but they don't want to do. They just want to come and buy Nigerian sympathy. They can buy from other people, not for people like me.
But it affects all of us eventually. Everybody suffers it when the plane goes down.
Everybody,
all right,
let's
okay. Let's go on to more issues. BD, thank you. You're there, so what you say, I mean, you have some of your evidence too. Gentlemen, it's a sad story there in Borno State. Borno is north of Nigeria, and Borno has gone through so much in the past. Remember, Borno is where this Boko Haram started from. Now Borno is being submerged. The whole of the town, Maiduguri is the capital of Borno State. Maiduguri is virtually underwater town. People are displaced. Animals are walking free from the zoo. The flood have ravaged Borno State. Even inmates, jailbirds are out running streets because water came in. Gentlemen, are you following that story? Before we go on to the story, maybe we could see, let's see this small video of Borno underwater. So this is the capital city, Maiduguri.
Just look at how this petroleum
now you can see
was buried underground. It busted out.
Everything is underground. Every vehicle, house, some people had to hang on this bridge. So while figuring out what to do next, they can't go down because it's all waterlogged. So this is Borno for you viewers. If you're watching, Borno State is the north of Nigeria, and Maiduguri is the capital. George, how do you see Borno's situation from Canada?
It's a very sad situation, and our heart goes out to all the people in that place. But this is something that happened, if you remember, a couple of years ago, when the situation with that dam with Cameroon took place. Warnings came that this thing will happen again, and that warnings came that if this is not fixed, that it will happen again, and this is what we are experiencing now. A lot of prisoners that escaped died in the water. Many of them died. A lot of 80% of the animals in the zoo, some of them perished, a few of them out there. So, and hundreds of people are dying. It's just a sad situation that we are experiencing. But I believe that this was a preventable situation if that situation with Cameroon was actually fixed. But that's our country. We make noise for the moment, and then after that, everybody goes into their houses and just continue to murmuring in their homes until another disaster comes. And then we start, oh my God, we feel so bad and all that. But these are preventable situations where if it was taken care of 2 years ago, this will not be happening today. At least even if it did, it wouldn't be as bad as this. It's so sad. Our heart goes out to them. Condolences to those that lost their loved ones and their businesses.
Yes, thank you, George. George, you're following that story. Raji, crocodile snakes are washed into the community, and that's dangerous too. Animals, I know that part of the north. I visited that part. You'll be surprised that Raji, you were saying something in the group it's not really a desert. Borno it has wild forest and vegetation. So I know there are animals. Yes, there are animals around in Borno. You have lion in Borno State. You have all. But then take note also, Northerners in that part of in Nigeria like to keep exotic animals. I don't know if you guys know this. Yes, they do. They have these ostriches. They have they keep all these very expensive exotic animals in that part of Nigeria. So some of these animals are running around on
Many of them
loose.
are
So Raji, what do you want to say?
No, it's like George had mentioned. This flooding is not the first one. There have been so many floods in the past, and every time it happens, it is just the level of ravaging that it happens, and then every year we wait until the next one happens. I think by now there should have been means of diverting the water from the main town or from two other canals and rivulets onto a major river down the road. So I don't see how this thing should be a regular occurrence. It's very, very saddening. When I looked at the area view of Borno, I was surprised about the level of devastation that the floods have caused. It's very, very sad. And I agree, I second Sir George, giving our condolences to the people who have lost so many things, lives and property, and the
So many
means
things.
of existence. Yes.
So many things, lives and property. Thank you. Viewers, you're hearing it from us here, SSM. That's the Borno situation. A lot of, the whole capital city, Maiduguri, is underwater. So we hope something is done. The state government have declared a 2 weeks stay at home for schools and some jobs to see how this thing could be rectified. Gentlemen, let's come back. Let's come back after the break. Thank you very much, Raji. Thank you, George. See you on the other side.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
This country has some of the most extraordinary culinary diversity in the world. I'm talking about Nigeria. This first dish is amala abula, made popular by the Yoruba people in southwest Nigeria. It starts with amala made from dried yam and then is covered in a variety of soups. Next we have ofe nsala, a white soup that is synonymous with the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria. It goes best with fufu, or akbo as the Igbos call it. Next we have suya, the most well-known food of the Hausa and Fulani people of northern Nigeria. Meat is covered in a peanut-based powder called yaji and cooked over an open fire. This is banga and starch, a classic of the Urhobo people of Delta State. Lastly, we have onunu, a plantain-based swallow of the Izon people in south-south Nigeria. We are eating it with fisherman soup, popular throughout this whole region. And of course, we don't forget the jollof rice. This is popular everywhere in Nigeria. I think what makes Nigeria so great is the diversity of all the different people coming together. These beautiful ethnic groups living side by side, sharing culture and cuisine is what makes Nigeria such an amazing country to visit. Nigerians should be so proud of that cultural heritage, as there is so much more that unites than divides them.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Yes, viewers, you're welcome back to the second segment of our program, Wednesday Global Africa. With me is Raji from Ghana. Accra. With me also is senior man Sir George Chukwu. Sir George, Ajero, let's come to the NLC and what's happened. Yesterday, you know, we talked about this on Monday, between the lines, how Ajero was treated, and sadly he was taken off to an important event in the UK. There in the UK, the Labour organization, the TUC, was having a meeting, and Ajero was supposed to make his presentation, and these people took him off. Now, what we heard is we got a clip of that event, why it was happening there in London, and the organizers of the event took more time to talk about Nigeria and what just happened to Ajero, the NLC boss. So, George, how will you assess this whole thing? First of all, was it right them picking him up? They've given their reasons, but I mean, what do you think, George?
You see, number one is this, like what we're talking about, the Emperor of Nigeria. And this is exactly what you are seeing. When you have an individual who is leading the Labour Congress in Nigeria, and then all of a sudden, on his way to an international event that he was supposed to participate in, then all of a sudden he was picked up from the airport, locked up, unable to attend that particular event. It is, the point. Igbo people, there's a proverb in Igbo land. If you're talking to the ear and the ear refuses to hear, when the head is cut off, it will go with the ear. And that's exactly what you're seeing. It's like a government that is deaf and dumb. They refuse to see, they refuse to hear, and they refuse to do. And people are crying and crying. Tomorrow they will start blaming. They will start finger pointing. It's a government that just full of excuses. You cannot say anything without them coming back with insults, with all kinds of all manner of things they will say against what you're saying. No, there is no accountability, no responsibility. So you saw what happened to him originally. They negotiated, and one of them, I forgot his name, that came out yesterday on Arise News and was talking about how the action that was taken against this man was so bad. Now it is on international level, on international ground. We don't even know how bad we're looking around the world. We don't know. We refuse to accept how deplorable and despicable our acts are, because we feel like we got it. Nobody can touch us. We are in the government right now. All I keep on saying, please hear our president, Mr. Tinubu, hear, please hear. You're no longer in Lagos. You are in the federal capital of Nigeria. You are the executive president. Please advise your hacked men to be careful what they are doing. You cannot be using DSS. You're using all kinds of departments, force to just abuse people any kind of way. Tomorrow is coming. Please, we want a nation that is complete, and a nation that is full, and a nation that can prosper. You are holding us back. You are holding the nation back. President Tinubu is here.
Yeah, that's it. Strong one from George. Raji, sad, but they had their reasons though. What they are saying is Ajero is connected to that man. Remember Andrew Wayne, the man they said they suspected for terrorism. Okay.
They will have their reasons, Mark, they will have their reasons. Whatever their reasons are, and very shameless reasons they will have. But they forget to identify the fact that a government should not put himself out to be shamed unless it is a shameless government. The moment Ajero was going for an international conference, the whole world was looking at us, and whatever we did shows the character of the governance of the government that we have. If we had a very sensible, decent government, Ajero would have been allowed to go and then come back. In fact, the government should have encouraged him to go and come back. In that way, he will be going with the assurance that the government somehow supports him, and therefore even his pronouncements outside will be protective of the government.
Will be positive about the government.
But because they stopped him, everything now is negative about it. There's no excuse they can give. There's no excuse they can give. And then it brings us back to Tinubu's own agenda when he was coming in. He said he was coming in with renewed hope. It is as if we are involved in the renewed hopelessness. You see? It has better been. It would have been better if he had not told us that he was renewing our hope, because now it's like a story of a man who was outside in the cold, very, very cold, and was using whatever rights he had to cover himself, until a rich man assured him that he was going to bring him a jacket. The rich man went into the house and forgot about the poor man that has promised a jacket. You know, by the time he came out the next morning, the man has frozen to death, because the man was depending on the hope that the rich man was bringing him a jacket, and therefore all the energy that he had to have kept himself warm overnight was lost in the hope that the man was bringing him a jacket. That is what the government, the Tinubu, is now doing to Nigerians.
And that is what the Bible, the book of Proverbs, calls it that, you know, hope deferred makes the heart sick. And this is what Nigerians are experiencing. Tell me something. When was Nigeria worse than where we are today? Since 1960, except for the Civil War. When was Nigeria as a country worse than what people are experiencing today? Doesn't it make you feel? You see, another thing is this man called Bayo Anonuga. I think he's the father of lies, because there's nothing in him that can ever bring out any truth. The man is the father of lies. He ought to be ashamed of himself, the way he's carrying on.
Shameless.
Oh my God!
So he cannot be ashamed. He's shameless.
These are the cabals. These are the bat cabals. You know, the mafia.
Just to add something to what George just said. No government, no president, no head of state in Nigeria has ever come out to give us hope, to promise us hope, except Abiola. Unfortunately, he never came in. And then Tinubu, who said that is now going to renew our hope. And people let down their guard, believing that this man was bringing us hope. If he has not promised us any renewed hope, people will have been more ready to face all the challenges. But you promised us a renewed hope, and then you don't dashed everything. It's wickedness. It's wickedness.
Okay.
And I've said before. As I've said before, I was praying for Tinubu to succeed. Now I'm praying for Nigeria to succeed, and the peace and joy of Nigeria will come. And any obstacle in the line of peace and joy for Nigeria shall be removed.
Amen. Thank you. All right, viewers. It's a little bit. It's not just intense. It's a little bit also with some passion there. Raji praying for us, because yes, Raji was one of those that voted for this man, so he has to do all in his power now to reverse everything he did. All right, guys. Let's come to Benin. Edo City yesterday was on fire. We saw the Labour Party. Labour Party is that party that has Peter Obi as his presidential candidate, former presidential candidate. So we saw them coming out en masse to endorse their man they call Olumide Apata. Yesterday, it was all over the social media space. George, I know you're neutral when it comes to Muslims, but how did you what was it that we were seeing in Benin, New Benin Market, Mission Road, all corners of market was lighted up with Olumide and P2B and all the LP people campaigning. So this is prior to September 21st. That's the election day for Edo State. What do you guys say, George? What's your view on this?
Well, if you know, you can do all of these things and then get all the people out there. The question is, what is Jega going to? Is it Jega or what's his name? Yakubu. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? Because all these things, you know, they show it. You know that these people, when they go out there to vote, you know what's going to happen. Because the real results might not show up. So you have Oshomole, you have Obaseki. They all have their own interest. So this is a godfatherism type of a situation. So now you see everybody with that hope that, you know, things will change. Let what happened in Abia, let it happen in Edo State. But is it going to happen? Because really, when you talk about Nigeria and election, my brother, my people, it's just, you don't know what is going to happen. If it happens the way you see it, Akpata will be the governor of Edo State. But underneath the table and under the foundation of the house, there are so many things we cannot say on the world stage. But let's just keep on looking. What I saw was very exciting. It looked like there was hope of the people coming out to say, yes, this is the man that we want. But who knows? Let's keep on watching under our oak tree.
I think, George, I don't think you should be so pessimistic. I don't think you should be pessimistic. And I believe that what happened during the presidential elections in Lagos, wherein P2P got more votes than Tinubu in Lagos, should be raised up as a standard. And I wish I had any influence in the Edo State. The first time I met the Akpata guy, Olumide guy, was when he was president of NBA, and we met at a wedding in Ilorin. I was really impressed. In fact, his presidency, is emerging as president of NBA was earth-shaking. And I really wish him the very best of luck in this election. And please, instead of being pessimistic, Sir George, let's pray for his success so that there will be a difference in it. Let's pray for his success.
Yeah, George is being
during the Obaseki government, during the Obaseki government, in the election that was so controversial, you know, I helped Edo people. I was in all their meetings, as a matter of fact. I was almost like an Edo-lite. All the meetings that they were having, even on the day of the election, we garnered a lot of people in Nigeria. They were every polling station. What they were doing was giving us live results, and those results were coming in live. They were posting it, and it was all over. And that was the reason, because what they did was they went underground and they started, you know, organizing people, and they gave them their phones and they went to every polling station. It was live. We were going from one station to another station. I don't know if you saw that. I was part of that group. As a matter of fact, there's a friend of mine, Kenny Bazwaye, who actually was part of the whole group that helped to put all these things together. So when the results are coming, we were announcing it internationally. So everybody was hearing it, and that was the way Obaseki came into power. And if they do the same thing right now, frankly, this man will emerge as the new governor of Edo State, and the people will rejoice.
You know, also George, yes. Also, I think being that it's the only state that will be having this election that day, all eyes will be on Edo State. So it will be hard to manipulate numbers. I mean, everybody's eyes there. This is not like when we had that general election where all the states are all doing it at the same time. So everybody's here now. The eyes are there, and that was what happened. Also, that was why PDP succeeded to topple APC in the last one when brought it Godwin Obaseki, because eyes were all on it, and everybody wanted Obaseki, everybody wanted PDP, and it worked like that. So I think also I'm seeing Edo State, that name they call themselves, the heartbeat of the nation, is not ordinary. That thing is somehow mystical. Do you know that somehow they set the pace for a lot of things in Nigeria, mostly when it comes to politics? So I'm looking at this election like it will work the way the people want it to work. I don't know what the people's choice is.
I pray that it will work. Edo State is so important to us. They are so important to Nigeria. As a matter of fact, they're almost like a pillar in the middle that is holding that, the nation, because their kingdom means a lot to the ground and means a lot to Nigeria as a whole. And if you know the kind of reverence they give to the Royal Highness, you will understand that these people, traditionally and culturally, they are the heartbeat of Nigeria for real. And I love the people. These people are very strong. Hey, very, very strong. God's grace.
We hope 21st of September next week. That will be next week. We hope something will really change. And nobody will alter. But Mahmoud can't do anything because, like I said, eyes will be on them.
Excuse me. You see these people, they are shameless. Mahmoud can do something, but he better not, because one thing that they don't understand, Edo people are not Yoruba people. They're not Igbos. Edo is strong. They are powerful people. When they get out there on the streets, the whole nation will turn right side up. I'm serious. So they better not do anything to manipulate that thing.
No, Mahmoud will try whatever he wants to do. Mahmoud will do the right thing. Mahmoud cannot control.
When did Yakubu Mahmoud start doing the right thing?
Let us please be more
gentlemen. Let's go further to some other news in Africa.
Luckily, there's a clash between the APC and the PDP in Edo.
Yes.
Olumide Akpata is ready to pick up the state. And I wish him the best of luck.
We wish him the best.
I do too.
So, yes, Edo, we'll be monitoring that election 21st next week. All eyes will be on Edo State, the heartbeat of Nigeria, as it picks its own new gubernatorial candidate. Gentlemen, let's come to other parts of Africa. There is something that happened in Senegal. If you look at Senegal's map, you will see that it's the closest to Europe. Well, I mean, in that sense of proximity. But there is deep sea between them anyway. So anyway, yesterday we had 26 people die because they were trying to take the boat to come to Europe, and it was a terrible accident. I don't know. Do any one of you hear that news? Yeah, Raja, I know you follow African news. What's that story there?
It's very sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. It's all thanks to the state of affairs in most most African countries, especially those African countries on the West African coast, because most of the people who are trying to go to Europe are mainly from the West African coast. It's very sad. If our governments at home were good, we won't have our people trying to go through Libya, of all places, to go through the sea with all the dangers of it, losing their lives to cross to Europe. And there's actually nothing much in Europe for anybody to go to at the moment, because Europe is also in turmoil. It's very sad.
It's also in turmoil. Yes, it is. So 26 people. That's what the story says, but the number could be more than that. They were all coming from. That's a picture of how it is by the coastal side of Senegal. They were bound to Spain. They were going to Spain, Canary Island, which is also off the coast of Senegal. And most of the people, young men, in conflict, like Raji said, poverty, unemployment, attempting to take that dangerous cross. And behold, all that. Sad news. George, is it not time that we Africa really thinks about this? You know, Africa as a country has not thought about is people crossing this Red Sea, crossing this very dangerous part to come to Europe. We've not thought about it. It's still the white man that is thinking about it. You know, our leaders have not said, but we need to stop. Let this stop. George, what do you say?
It's happened one time too much that, you know, attention should be drawn to it. And these people that actually using these boats that are not even capable of doing anything, seaworthy, and they are allowing them to take people out. You know, somebody got to take responsibility for this. 26 lives lost. 26 lives lost. That's a generation of people in the next how many years? You know, I mean, this is just so sad. And the thing is that, you know, most of them that are actually going, look at what happened in Libya. We saw that yesterday because of young Nigerian ladies jumping into Libya, of all places, Libya, languishing in jail. I mean, I'm talking about lots and lots of young women that could be trained in the farms, educated on how to do, farming in such a way that their hope will be there. You know, Camille, I don't understand what is happening in Africa. I mean, with all the resources, every mineral that you can think of is in that continent. Yet, and to cross from one country in Africa to another country, it's like going to heaven. Can you imagine? And that's why they're jumping into all these European countries, and they go there and become even worse. Only a handful of them might be able to succeed at last. It is just, I don't know, man. You know, sometimes when you look at these things.
Another thing we need to look at is that, you know, it's not as if those who were trying to cross the sea to Spain were doing it free of charge. They have paid.
They have paid. They sold everything. They have to pay to cross.
So how do you have to pay so much just to go and languish in jail, or to go and die on the high seas? I was listening to.
It's how desperate they are. Very desperate to want to come to Europe. George, I like the topic you brought up. We should have talked about that too. Sorry, Raji. Because that's a serious issue. We ran the story yesterday, SSM. We shared in all our handles. Nigerian ladies in Libya in a detention camp. Some are dying, hunger, all kinds of things, sickness, disease, rape. They say they come in at night, take them away one by one to unknown places to rape them. And our government to be that's a very pathetic situation, George. Let's see that clip, viewers. Let's see that clip, then we'll come to it.
We need to see that clip.
because of time, we will not run all the clip. Now George and Raji, those are our sisters, cousins, aunts, whatever, however you want to relate to them. And this is what they are saying. Now, from what we got, the storyline, the background story is that there's also a Nigerian association that has its president that also knows what is going on. And these ladies pay to that association so that they can get out of where they are. And the association is not helping them. That the association in Libya. The other story we have is some of them have been there for 2 years, 3 years, and some of them are giving birth there from rape and all that. Now, Abike Dabiri, the Honorable Abike Dabiri, is supposed to be in charge of situations like this, but nobody has addressed this. And they said they've made it call out to the federal government and some bodies in the past, and nobody is responding to this. So what we'll do now is let's just talk about it a little. George, we need to go into more of this.
This is exactly how bad this situation is. There was an article that I put out yesterday about the office of Abike Dabiri. A woman, an Asian woman with an Igbo name, came out and started cursing Yoruba and Igbo and threatening them. In less than 48 hours, Abike Dabiri wrote several letters to the High Commission's office, to the Mayor of Brampton in Ontario, wrote to the government of Canada. Oh, they just gathered themselves. Even the president himself on Thursday, traveling to China, had to have an emergency meeting with the House of Reps for them to, just talk about this woman, because her name, she has a name, Igbo name, but she's an Asian woman. Okay, now this is what is happening for how many years in Libya? Our young daughters are languishing, dying. Look at the kind of condition, living like worse than animals. And we are here talking. Yesterday again, it's alleged that a Yoruba person threatened Edo people. We haven't had a single word from anybody, not Abike Dabiri, not Bayo Onanuga, not all these people that are just all over the map, making noise. We need to take care of business. Madam Abike Dabiri, this is your responsibility. Take care of these women and make sure that they come back to Nigeria. Give them a place to live. Even if we have to contribute money for them to go to school, let us do that. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Not this, tribal sentiment and bigotry that is taking place in Nigeria. You guys ought to be ashamed of yourself to see that thing happening to your daughters in Libya. What kind of nonsense is this in this country? 2-3 years already there. These people are languishing.
Yes. Languishing. They say they want to go back home. They all want to go home. Go ahead.
My take on this, my take on the Libyan situation is this. How did they get there? How did they get there? Did they get there legally or illegally? Now, the government cannot go about putting out fires all over the world because some Nigerians are suffering something or the other. If you are in any country, how did they even get there? So many of them.
These people are going to find a living. They're trying to make a living, my friend. What are you talking about? Please, aren't you the one running away from Nigeria? Aren't you the one that escaped Nigeria? No, it doesn't matter. Let me tell you, if it was America will go and rescue those people. Many years, they would have brought them back. That's what a country is supposed to do.
The world is free. People are free to move.
Hold on, please. That is not what a country will do. That is what a nation will do. So let's get our facts right. America is a nation. Nigeria is a country. Now, a citizen of a nation has so many rights, far more rights than a citizen of a country. The country itself has not gotten itself together to make itself a nation. Now, let's address the situation of the Libyans. I'm very, very sorry about their situation. How did they get there in the first instance? And who organized them to be there? And what? Because there's actually.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know, Raji? Do you want to know? Do you want to know? Okay, let me tell you how they got there. They got there because they paid money to some people who took them there. From there, they were supposed to go to Dubai.
Exactly.
So these are the people. So what it is why are they leaving Nigeria? Why are they leaving Nigeria?
How then does that become the responsibility of Dabiri to go after their private matters? How do they get to Libya?
No. I this now.
Look at this one.
Let me break it down. Let me help you.
Do not blame the government for the plight of this.
No, Raji.
The government can do something about it, but do not blame them for their plight.
Exactly. Yeah. First of all, we won't ask how they got there. That one is not an issue now. The issue now is they are in a deep situation, critical predicament that they need to get out. They say they want to go back home. They want to go back to Nigeria. So maybe when they go back home, we could begin to assess and find out who brought them there, how they got and all that. But for now, these people are in a situation that they need to be saved.
I agree with you.
The office of NIGERIAN, the Foreign Affairs, this is where it concerns them. That's what their office stands for. Things like this, So the government can come in now, document them, know their various states where they come from, do some consular things and move them back to Nigeria.
Let me say, Raji, no, you hold on. No, you talking too much. Raji, no, I'm not talking too much because you're here giving excuses.
Taking people from Libya to Nigeria. APs had done that. And APs cannot continue to be doing that. APs have done that on
So who do you expect to do? Let them die there? Let them die in Libya? No, let them die there.
How did they get to Libya?
Let them die there. Is that right? These are young people. These are young people looking for a better future because your country is corrupt. Your country is messed up. Your country is completely dilapidated. There is nothing going in your country. So don't stop giving excuses.
Don't blame the government for their plan.
Look at your state. Look at you. Why did you run to Ghana? Why did you run to Ghana?
The government must do something about it.
Why did you run to Ghana? Why did you escape to Ghana? Why did you escape to Ghana? You're a grown man.
I'm not calling on that.
Why did you run to Ghana? You're asking why did they go there?
We've been giving extra minute, but it's over now, gentlemen. I know you both. It's all passion. You have passion for your country and your border. That's all what it means. What we're doing here, because we're angry. We're not happy to see our sisters, our daughters.
Nobody is
the way they treat animals, and you're here, giving
what I had when I had that they come at night, George. When I had they come at night and take them to some unknown place, sleep with them. I mean, some strange men. That hurts me the most. I said, "Oh boy, look what these girls are going through." Some of them have babies. They are babies with kwashiorkor, malnourished babies, undernourished, and. It's terrible. Okay, thank you guys. George, look out for updates from your end for Friday. Raji, you are also on the international. You're outside Nigeria, so it's international too. So let's come back Friday, gentlemen. Viewers, thank you for tuning in. SSM Global Friday Wednesday update. Until we come again, thank you all guys. Thank you for taking the time. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.